So our third presentation will be updates from NAP by President Darlene Allen, PRP. President Allen is a past unit and association president for the District of Columbia Association of Parliamentarians. She has been active with NAP, having served as a member of the Membership Examiners, Registration Examiners, and chair of the Professional Development Committee. In addition, she has served on the NAP Board of Directors from 2011 to 2013, and from 2015 to the present. She is also an instructor for the Professional Qualifying Course and Professional Recertification Course for NAP. Please welcome President Darlene Allen.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the National Rep Report that I'm going to give first. Our theme for this administration that we are the keepers of the democratic process. And actually, what is a keeper, if you ask, is someone who manages or looks after someone or something. That person may be a guardian, defender, or protector. Now, what we will be doing this administration, we will be working within our mission and vision statements in order to achieve our goals, which are basically 20% more than before. And even though we've had the COVID-19 restrictions, there continue to be people and members who take the RP and the membership exam. So with our strategies, we want to make sure that we're using best strategies, that are best practices, any gold standards, and novel approaches. And I believe how we've had to react to COVID-19 qualifies as a novel approach there. And with our values of transparency, accountability, and integrity, we will focus on members and membership in order to grow membership. Again, we were fortunate in that we had a large size class to take the membership exam in February. So we started off the year, pretty well. And then, in March, that first weekend in March, the board had met at their spring meeting in Kansas City. And then after that, everything just started to shut down and that sort of thing. But, we did start off the year in a pretty good manner. So this is the 2019 through 2021 Board of Directors. On the first row in the green, that's me. Vice President Sims is sitting beside me. Standing in the back, Parliamentarian Tim Nguyen, District Representative Larry Martin, DAL Noor, DAL Hathaway, Secretary Kevin Connolly, Treasurer Kerry Dixon, and DAL Joyce Brown Watkins. And missing is Robert Shook, who is the district representative. He wasn't present when we were taking those particular pictures. So first off, with the financial plan, over the last 4 years, NAP has been stabilizing its membership, and there are projects that we have had on our wish list for a while. So with the revenue and the surplus that we've had, we are starting to fund the projects that we have. And that first phase, creating the financial stability, you'll see that we were over budget for the 2019 convention. There were a lot of unseen costs being there in Las Vegas. However, we still, because of the other investments that we made, in addition to products and services, we were building a surplus, and we've been able to fund the commission. The commission budgeted for a certain amount of money each year. We put aside $30,000 for them to be able to travel back and forth and do the work that they have to do. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they haven't met face to face, but we did earmark money for the commission and also the technology fund. Our phone system was antiquated, and we were able to get a new system in. It enabled the staff members at headquarters to be able to work from home during the shuttered period, and there was no dropping phone calls or missing phone calls or that sort of thing. They were able to keep connected with the runnings of the office. And so we also are looking at a current and a new association management service, because we were having problems when dues came. They would always have to do that manually. So we'll be able to get some other functions out of that to help us with registration at our national events and that sort of thing. So we will be bringing a new AMS system online. And then there are things in the building fund. We were getting RFPs in order to do some basic infrastructure changes. If you haven't been to headquarters, if you go into the bathroom is like from 1919, but you know, we needed to upgrade the facilities. And so that's the next project that we will be working with. And, you know, continuing to work with education and making sure that we give our members what they need, but we definitely had infrastructure needs also. So that's what we've been doing in order to, with the surplus and any revenue that we budgeted for. So these are all budgeted items. And so our goals for 2019 to 2021, we want to recruit new members, continue to retain more members, and to reactivate and reclaim members. And we want a 20% increase in all categories. So here are the membership stats for July. So NAP had, and there are 3 years there. You see 2018, 2019, 2020. When I go to the state associations, I want to have them have a look at what's been happening in the last 3 years or so. So members can see, you know, if they're stagnant or there needs to be growth in your individual associations. So on the national level, there are 347 PRPs, 69 retired PRPs, 325 RPs, 42 retired RPs, regular members 3,066, student PRPs 4, 3 RPs that are student, and total student members are 64. And if you look across, you'll see that in 2018, we had a few more, so we need to do some work there. And for a total of 3,921 members as of the end of July. So here are the Arizona statistics. And as you see, you've been running around 50. In 2018, you had closer to 60, but right now you're running 50, 51. There are 7 registered professional registered parliamentarians, 5 retired, 6 RPs. There are none retired RPs, 32 regular members, and no student PRPs and no student RPs, and 1 student member in the Arizona State Association. So there is room for growth in all of the categories in Arizona. So we have what you need. There's unit and association training and in-person and electronic. And, you know, during this COVID-19 period, quite a few units have moved their meetings, and associations have moved their meetings online and working, learning, and it's been growing pains, learning the ins and the outs of working with the different platforms and to be able to conduct their meetings in that way. And it's been helpful to a lot of members who serve clients, so they're able to give advice to their clients based on their trial by fire that they've been having in units and associations. And also we continue to have instructor-led webinars, and we do have on-demand webinars that are located in the online store. And we continue to have educational events, district conferences. Most of the district conferences, except for District 4 or District 5 and District 2, they have theirs in the even year. Everyone else usually has theirs in the odd year. So there should be at least one happening this year. The NTC, as you know, will be a virtual event, and the biennial convention, we're planning to be in person in Atlanta, but you know, we'll make a contingency plan if we find at a certain point that we won't be able to be there in person and have to be there virtually. I'm crossing all fingers, toes, everything, because it would be fine for us to be in Atlanta. I think at this particular point, we're overdue for an in-person event, and everyone is kind of antsy and looking forward to that. So the credentialing options. Now, we continue to offer the registered parliamentarian exam. You know, the legacy exam is the 1,200 questions, 5 parts, and then there's also the new 3-step process. The commission will be reporting at NTC. I'm expecting to hear them say that sometime in the early part of next year that they will phase out the legacy exam. So what that means is, just as it meant back in 2019, that you need, if you're planning on reaching RP status, that you should probably start to work on that now, so that you can have 2 parts taken by the time the commission makes that announcement. And it can't be part 1, but any of the other parts. And we've been working really, really hard. The Membership and Registration Examiners Committee has been testing a system by which, in a process by which members can take the exam and have a virtual monitor. So we are prepared for individual and small groups of 3 for testing in order to take the membership exam and the RP exam. You just need to contact the office and make that request. And so the request goes to the committee and they'll work on that. The 3-step process is also still in process. So testing really only was discontinued for that particular month. And we wanted to make sure that members were not putting themselves at risk in order to take an exam. Members are too important to your families, to our organization, for you to have that kind of risk when you really shouldn't go out. If the state that you live in, if you were having a surge in your numbers. So, you know, I got a lot of emails and they were like, oh, you know, this test is just so important. Yes, it is important, but your health and your mental well-being are even more important than taking an exam. So just to know that testing has resumed and there are virtual options for a monitor. Contact the office and they will connect you with the committee. And for our professional registered courses, the professional qualifying course, that is for RPs to become PRPs, you know, that we will be offering it at the National Training Conference, but it will be a virtual session and it'll be over 4 days. What we found, and actually the PDC chairman was very wise in that, there will be only 4-hour sessions each day so that no one gets totally exhausted. It begins that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So by the time the NTC actually starts, the members would have completed the actual PQC, and we will also have the recertification exam offered during that time. Once things get back to near normal, we will continue to offer the in-person 2 or 3 day course. We will be evaluating what has gone on with the virtual courses, because that can be an avenue by which members that live overseas are able to achieve their credentials, because there's now another option where they don't have to be physically present and they could have their instructors. They don't have to fly from Africa, from Jamaica, or wherever they are coming from, and we can make that option happen. So we will be evaluating the courses to just find out just how effective they were and how it has helped or has not helped the particular members that are scheduled to take the courses. So that is happening. And again, with the professional registered parliamentarians, there was always a virtual online option available, and that continues to be available for those who have their PRP and they are trying to renew it. So at any point that if someone has a question, if someone could let me know that there are questions in the chat, because I'm going to keep going. There's not many more slides. So I found this a little curious when I went through. Headquarters always pulls the names of the members who are serving at the national level, and only Mike Peck, and he's the district 8 director, is serving from Arizona. So we need to do something about that. So send me an email if you're interested in certain committees. Send me a bio and just let me know, but you only have 1 member. So the important dates that we had this year: in April, we had Parliamentary Law Month. In June, we had the 90th anniversary of NAP. We had a small party. It lasted, a virtual party, for about a half an hour, but we played a game, and it was a nice, enjoyable experience. In August, we will have the virtual NTC and also the release of the 12th edition that will come. Now, if you haven't pre-ordered your book, you need to do that. And you know that the first 400 people who pre-ordered will get an autographed book plate, and they'll have the names of the authors, and that will come. But you know, we are limited in the number of book plates that we have, and so those should hopefully be going out pretty soon. We did not cancel the NTC. We checked our governing documents, and we had the option to postpone it until later in the year. However, the release of the 12th edition was an important factor, you know, other than the fact that members let us know through the survey whether or not they would be traveling or would be attending. But we did not want to miss that deadline, because on September 1st, everyone will be able to get the new edition from Amazon, and they basically can't release it till September 1st. So we had to go ahead with the dates that we have, because everything is kind of situated based on our date and then the release in the general public. So that was important for us to get ahead of that and to stay on target for the release of the 12th edition. So, you know, we still will be celebrating. We've got a couple of games going. You should begin to get emails about what's actually planned. You know, the last time that we spoke about it, I let you know that, you know, nothing was written in stone. There is some stone, and we're etching in stone. So we've moved along with that. But just to know, you'll, in the coming weeks, because we only have a couple of weeks left, you will be getting direct information about what this experience is going to be like. I will tell you, for the leadership conference, we now have 250 people that have registered. And for the NTC itself, 668 members and guests have registered for the NTC. That takes me to the Q&A, the questions that you submitted ahead of time. So there was the question, what is the current status of credentialing? And I mentioned it a little bit when I spoke earlier, but the 5 parts will continue, the 5-part legacy exam, until the time at which the commission decides that the new 3-step process will be the only process. The beta testers are continuing with the process, and we will get an update from the commission at the NTC. So how does this work for those who haven't taken parts but not all of the exam? We did shutter the testing in May, and if you were unable to take the exams due to state and local health advisories, everyone who may have had their 9-month period expire between March, April, and May will have until December 31st, 2020 in order to finish all the parts. So you have until the end of the year. And I just need to give a reminder that both the monitor and the test taker must be in the same room at the same time. So we expect you to observe the health restrictions and to be 6 feet apart and wearing a mask if that's what your state says you have to do. But as I mentioned earlier, there is also the option of your being able to take the exam virtually and by having a virtual monitor. So you need to call the office and check on that if that's the case. So then the question was, what does credentialing look like moving forward? Again, the Commission on Credentialing is charged with that, and we will get an update at NTC. And just to know, I can't repeat enough times, at some point, the legacy exam will cease to be offered in the future, and test takers will be given ample notice. So since most learning in the future will be online, what programs are available and what is being planned for the future? Now, one of the things that we did early on, because we know that registered parliamentarians and also professional registered parliamentarians, there are some whose recertification has to be done by December 31st, 2020. Since October of 2019, we have offered 12 virtual online workshops that at some point were of no cost to members. And so we had a capacity issue at first, and we solved that. Even though you may not have been able to get on to the live broadcast, you were able to use the recording, and usually the PowerPoint is attached to that in order to be able to take advantage of the educational session. So any registered parliamentarian, those were available to you again since October of 2019, and there were 12 of them. So those were some CEUs, if you had none, that you can start there. You know that we'll have education sessions at the NTC, and then starting in September or October, we will continue to have additional sessions, virtual sessions, where talking about various topics so that members can take advantage of those opportunities. And for the most part, the ones that'll be held again from September through December will be offered at no cost for a limited amount of time. And there, you usually will be able to, if you can't make the live broadcast, the link will be there for the recording. So to know that we have been making sure that we've done that. There are also certain units and associations that have also been holding presentations and workshops. Some of us were present at the AIP annual session last weekend, and some of those workshops that we attended can also be used for your recertification efforts. You just need to go to the website under the document section and pull down the form so you can keep track of your educational points. So what will be the highlights of the upcoming NAP training conference? The release of the 12th edition is going to be really, really big for us. The authorship team has a full day where they will be presenting the changes for us in the 12th edition. And again, you should pre-order your copy. We're working in order to get your copy to you so that when the NTC starts and we're going through the changes, you should be able to do that. We're hoping that the mailing, because there's been a delay in the U.S. Postal Service receiving mail. We're hoping that everyone gets their copies in time. We're hoping that the members that live in foreign countries are also able to get their copy in time, but we will be doing that. And, the president and treasurer gives a report, and we have some games that are going to be planned also. So what is the strategic plan for NAP as a national international organization looking 10 years ahead? So in 10 years, it'll be the 100th anniversary of NAP. Now, what COVID-19 has taught us is that the best laid plans often go awry. We will continue to make plans for the NAP's future, but we know that we have to build in a process where if we have to pivot and drastically change our plans, we have to be nimble enough to do that. So we do have to come to terms with the realization that NAP is an organization that was founded in the United States, and its nonprofit status resides in Washington, D.C. We have international members. And so when we are trying to increase our membership, we need to look at all the aspects of what it takes in order to service the members. I think it does the members a disservice, especially the members that live overseas, that we heavily recruit them, but we forget about time zones. We forget about the money exchange, what the dollar and how much it's going to cost them to spend and to buy products. And also, we need to worry about how do they receive them. And everyone says, oh, we can just give them electronic copies. Well, that seems simple, but it's not that simple in that, yes, we can do that, but it's something that we have to be careful about the different products that go out, and all of that has to be built into the profit expenses, and also we have to account for all of that. So we have to take a really good look at what it is that we offer members and making sure that the members that don't reside in the continental United States, that we are servicing them, but we're not doing it in such a way that it's an afterthought. We need to make sure that it's on the forefront of our minds and we take into account what it takes to service the members as we go along. So, and that ended the pre-submitted questions, and I'm open for any questions that you may have. And personally, I do like to answer all of your questions ahead of time.
Thank you, President Allen. Well, we do have some questions. Sandra, Ingo.
Yes, I would like to know, will any of the training for the 2020 Leadership Conference or the full conference be recorded so that there would be access to them at a later date for those who pay to attend?
And there will be access. We're in the process of deciding that now, because the way that it looks, on Saturday, there will be 3 sets of 5 simultaneous workshops going on, and then on Sunday, 1 set of 5. And so that we're just trying to decide now what access everyone who attended, but you know, you can only attend 1, you can't attend all 5.
Exactly.
Just what we'll do there and for how long we'll make it available, because that is the issue. So whether or not it's going to be 30 days or something like that, that the link will be live before it goes to the online store. That's what we're deciding now.
But there will be recordings regardless of the availability.
Right, there will
that
be.
was the important thing. Okay.
Yes, there will be recordings. That's one of the reasons why we're going with an outside vendor, in order to assist us with that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Darlene, I was asked about the district meeting in San Antonio, which is now virtual. Do I have to do something with NAP to set up that, or is it part of the convention?
And that's a yes or no. We have access. If you already know when you want yours to occur, just send that to Cindy and Lucy so that we can do that. We discussed it, and we know that the districts will probably want to meet. It's just a matter of getting you access to the Zoom, so it won't be a problem.
Okay.
When will the agenda for the conference be available? I'm going to be on vacation that week, so I need to schedule around the different classes that I want to take. And I just kind of was wondering when that might be available.
There may be a skeleton online now, but we meet on Monday and then again on Wednesday. So
Okay.
I'm sure by the end of the week, you'll know, but it's,
Okay.
I won't say that it's fluid, but we pretty much know what's going on. So we're just building for the emergencies now, but just someone has to pull out at the last minute. So that's what we're working on now.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so very informative presentation, President Allen. We certainly enjoyed it, and obviously we did have a number of questions in spite of all the pre-submitted questions, which was quite informative, and something that we can pass along to our other members too, that might not have been able to attend the meeting today.